Hello everyone, welcome to Vinod Rathinam Tutorials. There are three types of machine learning: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. In this video, we are going to learn about supervised learning with sample example. A short recap: definition of machine learning. Machine learning is the subset of artificial intelligence. It means in artificial intelligence, we have many areas. In that, machine learning is one of the subset. So we should not think artificial intelligence and machine learning are same. Both are different. Then, which works based on self-learning algorithm using past experience or data set without being explicitly programmed. It means the self-learning algorithm even works for a new scenario which is not programmed. Just to make this concept easy understanding and fun learning, I took this example. A very famous fictional superhero movie, Iron Man, where Tony Stark is the hero and he will be having a powerful suit of armor. This armor suit guides him to identify the vehicle, building, missiles, enemy's target, and so on. But in this example, he wants to train the algorithm and makes his powerful suit to identify whether the image is dog or not dog. Here the human teaching the machines, that's why it is called supervised learning. I am saying it again, the human is teaching the machine is called as supervised learning. Now we will see how it works. Here the Tony first uses the training data set which consists of different types of dog images. Wikipedia says we have around 339 dog breeds in the world. Then the training data set should contain multiple images of all the 339 dogs, and based on parameters like breed, color, size, eyes, nose, tongue, and whether it's puppy or not, and whether the dog is dirty or not, like that. Now you can imagine how big the training data set will be. Finally, the algorithm learns the input pattern and it generates the expected output. The algorithm will label each image as dog and not dog. This process is keep on repeating until we get the final trained model. Sometimes we call it as predictive model. Now Tony wants to test his predictive model with new two test data. First, dog in dress holding a guitar and a cat in dress. The trained model or the trained algorithm or the predictive model can easily predict the output of the never seen input or unlabeled image. Now the suit will exactly tell whether it's a dog or not. Hope you understood how supervised machine learning works. In short, a supervisor uses training data set to create and train the predictive model, then uses the unseen data or test data set to find the output of unlabeled input. Now tell me which is easier to identify, whether a missile or a dog. The hint: when the number of parameter increases, the complexity of the model will increase. So just think about it. Book definition: supervised learning is the machine learning task of determining a function from labeled data. In our example, the machine learning algorithm that detects if the image is dog or not. The training dataset would include the image labeled as dog and not dog to help teach the algorithm how to recognize the difference. So the supervised learning algorithm interferes the functions from a labeled dataset and use these functions on new examples or never seen test data. Hope you got some idea about supervised learning. Two types of output is produced by the supervised learning. It will be a discrete value and a continuous value, which comes under the classification and regression problems. Classification algorithm is used when the desired output is a discrete label, nothing but a binary classification. only two possible outcomes like yes or no. Here two examples I have mentioned just to identify whether the email is spam or not, then the transaction is fraud or authorized transaction. That's about the classification problems. Then second one is regression. Regression algorithms are used when the desired output is a real or continuous value. It means the answer to your question is represented by a quantity. For example, predicting the house price based on area. Then predicting the number of copies a music album will be sold in next month. These examples falls under the regression model. You can see some list of classification algorithm like logistic regression, decision tree, kernel approximation, k nearest neighbors, random forest. These are all very important algorithm which is used for the classification models. Second, these are all the list of regression model algorithm like ordinary least square regression, linear regression, then random forest is also used in the regression model. Now a big question comes to you. How should I choose the algorithm? It's a most confusing question for most of the data scientists. First, once you choose your project, first identify whether it falls under the supervised learning or not. If it falls under the supervised learning, then you have to divide it into two categories, whether it falls under the classification or it falls under the regression. In case if it falls under the classification, then you have to choose which best algorithm will choose for the classification problem, because sometimes for your particular project you can use maybe more than 2 to 3 algorithms, but you have to choose feasible solution. Same way, if it falls under the regression, then you have to choose the proper regression algorithm. We have completed theoretically the concept of supervised learning and also understood the difference between the classification and regression model. Surely we will be learning how to create these types of graph practically using the linear algebra and all the important supervised machine learning algorithms in the upcoming videos. That's the end of today's session. Thanks for watching. Happy learning.